really happy to show you guys this video because I think it's going to answer a lot of questions. I think it's really going to put the icing on the cake for why ConConnect is here, where the inspiration came for ConConnect, and what's the vision for ConConnect. So let's go straight into it, not waste any time. About 7.5 years ago, I ended up catching a felony offense, actually a few felony offenses for possession of a weapon, assault with that deadly weapon, reckless endangerment, and possession of felony marijuana. With all 4 charges through pretrial motions and fighting that for the next almost 2 years. First offense, I was able to get 5.5 years, which landed me in a New York State prison at the age of 23. I sat in those cells for about 5.5 years, and in those 5.5 years, educated myself. I connected myself with the books. I wrote several novels that are published today on Barnes & Nobles and Amazon.com. I changed my physique as far as my health, being 240 pounds. I brought myself down to 180, and really got inspired with physical fitness, that enough to get inspired to actually chase a bachelor's degree for sports science since I had enough time to do it. Did that all through Bear Hill Correctional Facility in New York State. And with that, I left prison 5.5 years later with a dream to be better, with a vision, with ambition to succeed, but ConConnect still wasn't there. ConConnect wasn't part of those dreams at that time still. So left prison, and things were rough, man. Things were a lot rougher. I had dreams, I had ambition, but I noticed that when I left, man, reality hit. Right, and that reality was I was in a shelter, man. I was in one of the worst shelters in New York City, on Randall's Island. It was filthy. My address wasn't approved. Mind you, I didn't have my old apartment that I had prior to incarceration was taken from me, so I had nowhere to go. Me and my daughter's mom weren't together anymore, so there was no point in me staying there. So yeah, I landed in a shelter, and it was rough, man. It was, like I said, it was one of the roughest, filthiest shelters. It reminded me of prison. I actually felt like I was right back in prison. I applied for jobs day and night on my cell phone that my daughter's mom provided me when I first came home. That was my thing, jobs all day and night. And I would get calls, man. I was getting calls and going in on interviews, but I was getting shot down too. At every interview, at every turn. Bachelor's degree, it didn't matter. Past education in journalism, it didn't matter. Every industry I tried to enter, I failed. There was no success. I found success within about 30 days of being home from a local gym that was willing to offer me a job cleaning toilets, cleaning their floors, and making sure the facility was kept uptight. That's what I was offered, and that's what I took, right? At that time, I had a strong mindset. My mindset was I wasn't gonna stay here, I was gonna flourish and get out of here one day. And that one day may have took months, right? That one day ended up being months, almost a year. But within that year, I was able to grab another job at minimum wage, doing social work in a men's shelter while still living in a shelter. I actually lived in a shelter now. I'm working in a shelter, a men's shelter. I'm working at a gym cleaning toilets. I'm doing social work intake at the shelter, full-time, 80 hours. After that 80 hours of struggling and kicking my ass, I'm only receiving $2,000 every 2 weeks after taxes. Yeah, luckily, again, I didn't see all the opportunity that I have around me. The opportunity was I was in a shelter. What was I able to do? I was able to save, right? Because as time went on, through these months of working these little jobs, I got connected with a nonprofit organization called the 5 Ventures. And when I got connected with the 5 Ventures, which was a nonprofit catered to formerly and currently incarcerated people who want to open their own business and want to learn more about entrepreneurship, I got connected with a good guy named Lionel Church, who helped me publish those novels I read in prison. He was supposed to work with me to inspire the business that I wanted to build. And at that time, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. At that time, I just wanted to write novels. And then somebody came across and said, "Hey, Andre, get on LinkedIn. You'll probably get a job. You got good credentials, good head on your shoulders. Get on LinkedIn." So I got on LinkedIn. Said, "Wow, this is beautiful. This is great technology. This is great professional network. Let me get on this and find connections." And I did that. And I got connected with HR recruiters. I got connected with some people, and I got to those interviews. And I also, again, I got shot down because that violent felony record came back up. I was still fresh from being out of prison. They didn't want to hear that I can offer what I told them that I can offer. which was a good attitude, which was a clear head on my shoulders. I can think outside the box. I can help develop this business. I can help do everything that you think that I can't do. So with that, it was just one night I sat in my house on LinkedIn, surfing through it. I'm on all social media platforms, but again, I'm strong-headed at this time, and I'm thinking this is what is important. And as I'm searching through LinkedIn, I said there would be a really, really powerful tool if we had something exactly like this, but strictly catered to men and women like me. Why isn't there something where I can get on and connect with more defies or more nonprofits, more reentries, mental health agencies? My parole officer told me I needed an anger management program, though I feel I wasn't angry anymore. But she didn't really tell me where to go, where to find it. It was more like, you need it, it's mandatory, get it done. So why can't I find a network that has all those things that I know I'm gonna need when I come home? And because I know there wasn't anything like it, I decided to build it. But it wasn't that easy, because I didn't have any money to build it. And I knew to build ConConnect was gonna cost well into the thousands. But as strong-headed as I keep reminding you guys as I kept going, because I knew that this wasn't the end, this was only the beginning for me. And as I kept living, I found more connections, and I learned with life, connections were the key to get places. And with these connections I met, they kept guiding me and taking me further and further. And as they took me further and further, I learned more. I landed a job at Equinox, building an 80K business in 4 months. I left Equinox in almost a year, about close to 8 months. Went to New York Sports, which is Town Sports International, and I built a business well over $100,000 in 6 months. And with that came a certain amount of salary and amount of money coming to me monthly that I never was able to generate before legally. Right? I felt good, I felt appreciated, I was making good money, and I did this myself. I did this because I was given an opportunity by a hiring manager who seen my potential. I promised him something, and I fulfilled on that promise. I went into the business and became the #1 trainer in that location, and #11 trainer in the whole company within 6 months. And with that money, within 6 months, I was able to say, hey, I'm ready to fund ConConnect myself. And that's where the inspiration, that's where ConConnect came from, right? That's where I came up with this idea. That's the story behind ConConnect. This ConConnect's vision is to connect formerly incarcerated people with reentries, nonprofits, second chance employers, mental health agencies, drug abuse agencies. We need all the services to finally be in one network, to be with each other, to be heard, to connect with each other. And not just for the formerly incarcerated. I did this because I now work alongside reentry leaders. I now talk with a bunch of reentries. I volunteer with them. I do as much as I can do with the 5 ventures that's more than just them helping my business. It's how can I help you? And because I learned so much about reentries and interviewed CEOs of reentries and found out where they need and what they really need, I've learned that they need technology to help advance the reentry system. So I plan on giving them the technology they need to find us, to connect with us, to inspire us. I felt that I needed to build an education e-learning system, which is called ConCourses, and integrate it with ConConnect that will help inspire reentry leaders on how, and influence them on how they can work better alongside us. So many features comes with ConConnect, and I just really believe it's going to be that powerful network to really change the reentry game, because reentry, it's a trend, and it's always changing. We're going to keep up with that data. I know that, and because I understand it's a trend, I will always make sure that ConConnect is keeping up with that trend, and we're always here for you. Because at the end of the day,